when you get a new Starscream mold, you really want the other Seekers. Skywarp, Thundercracker, those ones are definites. But you know who hasn't gotten a good figure? The Coneheads. The Coneheads are, I feel like, a kind of very important G1 design that doesn't get a lot of love these days. But it seems like they got some new toys. And today, we will be looking at the newest Conehead versions of Ramjet and Dirge. So, having Dirge and Ramjet in their jet modes, they both look very, very nice. And as you could tell, these are clearly retools of the Earthrise Starscream mold. Now, these figures do have some changes. Mainly remolded bits on here. Basically the whole wing section, this part right here, is completely replaced. But, and different wing fins right here. And also these knees, but we'll get into that robot mode. And he has, these two pieces are remolded and the back wings are remolded. But overall, a pretty good looking jet modes. And honestly, I thought this was like, messed up for some reason. But it turns out it's not. This is actually how the G1 jet kind of looked. Which, these do not look aerodynamic. I mean, this one kind of does, but I don't know. That's pretty much it with the jet modes. There isn't really much to say. It would be nice if these jets had, like, landing gear or something, but that's kind of the fault of the story of this mold, which, you know, isn't, like, it's just a whole nother story that I'll get into later in the video. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Here they are with Starscream in jet mode, and they look very, very nice, and I'm glad to have my Seekers reunited. And soon we will look at other Seekers when they come out, or when I get them. So yeah, that's about it for the jet modes. Let's go into the robot modes. And here we have Dirge and Ramjet in their very nice looking robot modes. So if I had to pick a favorite, it's probably Ramjet for a specific reason I'll get into later. But these guys look very G1 accurate and both look very good. And the transformation like Starscream is pretty fun, but there are a couple problems. Like I mentioned in the Starscream review, this part right here, the paint will chip like crazy if you transform it all the time. I'm pretty sure if you look very closely on mine, you could see a little bit of paint chipping, but it's not really a big deal. But the biggest problem with this mold is that the nose cones do not tuck away. Now, I know there are much better transformations for jet transformers that have a fold-away nose cone. Look at Titan's Return Blitzwing. That figure does the nose cone transformation really well. Why do they keep it like this? I know this mold is based on the Classics figure, but come on, it just ruins the back of this figure. Imagine if this piece wasn't there. That would look so much better, and I don't know. And now to mention my other issue. It's mainly with Dirge. That face. Why does it have a mouth open? I mean, yeah, some people would like some differentiation with it, but it just has this weird open mouth and he's screaming. Like for stop motions, his mouth will always be open. It will always look like he's screaming. I much prefer the neutral face of Starscream and Ramjet right here, but there's nothing I could do about that. I also forgot to mention in jet mode, under the skirt right here, you do have a port where you could put them, make them look like they're flying, but that doesn't really matter. So now let's start going with the positives. These figures do look very G1 accurate, and it's very nice to have some cone heads. The wing transformations all go back very, very well. The arms fold up rather nicely. Again, would have been nice if they had landing gear, but that's pretty much it. Some people have a problem with the color of the cockpit section, but I personally am fine with it. And it's very nice to see these cone heads. Oh god, they look so perfect. But with transformation, you could potentially chip it a little bit, as you can see with the little white speck right there. So yeah, that's about it for the robot modes. And for size comparisons, I will show it with Starscream. So yeah, let's go to the size comparisons. Ramjet's crying face really just reminds me of when I was the father, and that was not a fun time. What's wrong, Earthrise Dirge? You having a bad dream? You need Papa to give you a little kissy? Alright. Let me give you your goodnight kiss. Go to the size comparisons, and then the left and right and all the way around. Can't look up too far. Can T-pose. Has a swivel at the shoulder, a swivel at here, elbow, no swivel at the wrist. Cannot turn the hips. Can't really do the splits. Has a swivel here. Can do a good knee and a pretty decent pivot. For size comparisons, here we have Earthrise, Dirge, and Ramjet with Iron Tread, Blitzwing, Sound Barrier, Paleotrex, Grapple, Galaxy Upgrade Optimus Prime, and Earthrise Starscream and Siege Starscream. So my overall thoughts on these figures, they're pretty good. Are they worth the $60 price Amazon gave them? I mean, I guess, since, you know, each is a Voyager class and each Voyager costs $30. But because of their rarity, are they worth the extra price? I would say no. I mean, I do enjoy these figures to an extent, mainly because I wanted some updated Seeker cone heads, and Dirge was actually one of my favorite cone heads as a kid. I have a mini story. When I was a little boy, I actually found a Dirge figure in daycare I was at, and I actually hid it in the daycare and was hoping to steal it back and, you know, take it home and all that stuff, but I eventually forgot about it and never found it again. So yeah, that's kind of sad. But I honestly really wanted this Dirge to be good, and the leaks made it look like the mouth was closed, honestly. But sadly, we got this screaming Dirge and a pretty decent Ramjet. But what are your thoughts on these figures? Are you going to buy them? Are you going to hunt for them? Please leave your comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe. And remember, I'm a 16-year-old who wastes all his money on plastic toys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye, guys.